Alrighty, folks, is it time to sell everything? I had lots of conversations over the weekend with folks that are scared about the stock market, scared about gold, scared about Bitcoin. And all I got to tell you, folks, one thing I am very happy about, because I know myself, I am an emotional investor. I would be in all kinds of panic if the stock market was down 20%. I would not have the patience to wait it out. But thankfully, I am in real estate. And the fact is, in real estate, you can't really sell emotionally. It takes time, it takes patience. And because I am in real estate, days like Thursday, days like Friday, the weekend, and frankly, as the start of Monday, I actually can sit back and put money to work. Now, it's not big money, but it is certainly money. I am buying stocks into this crash and happy to do it because I have the majority of my wealth and assets in real estate. So, Matt, I wanted to talk to you. I'm sure you had lots of people calling you over the weekend. I'm actually going to guess that some people are backing out. One of the things that I think happens because of Thursday, Friday, and Monday is we're going to have a lot of buyers decide not to buy. So my guess is we're going to have demand pullback, at least in the short term, but I'm curious what you're seeing out there.
Yeah, a couple different things. One, volatility is something that in general doesn't help buyer sentiment. Not knowing where things are going, and I've talked about it over the last few weeks. How great this is that for mortgage rates and what we're looking at on our side, we're bouncing right around 6.75, and you know what to expect, right? That all was thrown out the window last week when Thursday and Friday were a wild ride. Something I just got off a call with our Texas branch. They had 7 or 8 different refinances, and here's the crazy news: 6.75, straight down Thursday, Friday. When you're talking about the average 30-year rate to 6.6, it's all gone, Mike. It's done. Like after this morning, the 10-year shot back up to 408 or 409, and literally that 15 basis points in rate is considerable, and it made the difference on at least a half a dozen refinances where whatever they were looking at, 6.49 for a half a point or 6.25 for whatever the scenario was, it was in the money, and now it's out of the money. And so one thing to think about is it's never guaranteed. There's a lot of people in October, a refinance window opened. They might have had conversations. Let me think about it. I don't know. If it makes sense, it makes sense. And what I try to tell people so that they're less afraid to take that one step that is application and a lock is you can lock a refinance loan. You can submit a refinance loan. You can be as far as you want into that thing until you've signed with a notary that's made it official. And not just that, but then you've waited the 3-day rescission period that refinances have. Then it's recorded and official. So, there's no real pain in that. But the better advice on that topic is know where you want to be and what makes sense. At this rate, at this cost, this refinance would make sense. Communicate that with a mortgage broker you like and trust. And so both of you can actively be looking at it, and you both know, okay, as soon as I can get 6.375 with less than $2,000 worth of lender fees in box A, I'm going to press play and move forward. Okay, you know that. Your mortgage broker knows that. That window might open like it did on Thursday and Friday. It's shut for now. Who knows if we'll see it again this week? We might not see it again, this month or this year.
Right. I think that's a great point, because again, when I came in today, one of the things I was certain of is that real estate purchases would be canceled. But it's a great point that that 2 days of goodness also closed. I mean, it's been a wild ride. The stock goes down Thursday, Friday, so does rates. Stocks go down today in a very bumpy and wild session, but rates go up meaningfully. I mean, I saw this morning before the market opened, it was up like 16 basis points on the 10-year. That's like a 3 standard deviation move for a 1 hour window. I mean,
Right.
it was a wild move this morning.
Yeah, and silly me. I look at the overnight 10-year, and I look last night, and I'm like 3.89. We're
going to be a good day.
We're going to open up and continue to see improvement and whatnot. And so that's that advice. I haven't seen a ton yet of what you talked about, which is buyer sentiment changes, volatility in the market causes someone to go, you know what? I don't know. Should I buy this $600,000 house now? Maybe I'll press pause, because we've seen more of that over the last couple years than I've seen at any other time during the last 11 years as a mortgage broker, where outside, forces and outlook influence a decision. And, one thing that I think is an even stronger force than all the economic stuff going on is people's lack of research or understanding or education before they get into contract. I've had that conversation with agents, and I've reminded them that I will scream from the mountaintops, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. If you're somebody who's looking to buy a piece of real estate, make sure you understand the numbers. People don't know what they don't know, and they think the home buying process is, oh yeah, I talked to somebody, I submitted some docs, they said I'm pre-approved for $600,000, and then that conversation is done. I don't want to talk to the numbers guy. That's boring stuff.
Yeah.
Show me the real estate. And then real estate agent who isn't necessarily thinking about the fact that, like, oh, I want to make sure my client's really comfortable at this price point, at this monthly mortgage payment with this number down. They just say, you like it? I see a letter that says you're approved at $600,000. Let's write an offer.
Yeah, let's go shopping.
Yeah, well, and then what happens, Mike, is there's a ton of cancellations that happen because 2 weeks in, they go, I know this is the third loan estimate I've got, but this time I actually looked at it. And $46, $45 a month, like that's my monthly payment. Then you got to jump on the phone and be like, yeah, remember we were trying to set up a call? Remember we were trying to review these numbers with you, and you were just missing in action because you already had your letter, your ticket to go shop. And so that is something that has caused a lot of backouts, in my opinion, maybe more than any news that's coming across the airwaves, because I don't know. I think this news affects different demographics differently. You're looking to retire and you've got a big account that you're counting on to last you the next 20 to 25 years. Stock market going down 20%, that affects you, or you're some of these tech folks that have 99.9% of your net worth in stocks. Like, this is scary stuff. This is a reason to, perhaps press pause or not be, actively pursuing real estate. But, for a lot of people, first-time home buyers, if I think about it, Mike, they're like, I make this, I've got 3.5% down. They don't have huge stock portfolios, and they're not necessarily like, that's outside of their own personal economic outlook, which is my job's secure, I can afford this monthly payment. Yeah. I'm rolling.
Well, it's going to be interesting because, again, I think in the short term, there's no question that demand will go down just with the headlines. Consumers are remarkably predictable. But one of the outcomes, if I look ahead 60 or 90 days, is the fact that real estate might look sexy again because the stock market's crashing, crypto's crashing, all of those things. But real estate doesn't move like that. It doesn't move slow. It takes time to do all of these things. So, I look forward to that. Matt, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and get something started, where do they go?
Go to greatmortgagebroker.com, fill out a quick form. We're licensed in 48 states and, happy to help. What I will continue to say, because I can't say it enough, whether it's us or whether it's somebody else, the mortgage pre-approval, and more specifically, the analyzing of the numbers and knowing your numbers, whether you're an investor or buying a primary residence, is the first step. Browsing Redfin and the MLS and shopping with your real estate agent is fun. I get it, but do the work first. And, we talk about do the work in one rental at a time. It's important around investment properties. It's equally as important around your primary residence and what's going to fit into your monthly budget. And I can tell you from experience, the clients I work with that do the work, they have a better experience. They're less stressed out. They get into situations where they feel really comfortable because they've done the work to say, you know what, at $3,200 a month, I feel good. Here's what and that exercise might bring out some other good things to talk about within your family or within that budget where, you know what, I didn't realize when I really broke it down, my housing payment is this percent. Maybe I can cut out this or cut out that. I don't know. The good stuff comes out of taking a step back and looking at your budget.
There you go, folks. GreatMortgageBroker.com. Give them a look. Thanks, buddy.
Yep. Thanks, Mike.